wanted to do a broad overview of the syllabus together today. You'll see here, my name is Nathaniel Snow. You can call me Professor Snow. You've got my email. My office is at 133 in Whittinger. These are my office hours posted for now. If there are changes to that, I'll let you know. You should be able to find that on Canvas, and I'll be available for WebEx or Zoom or a variety of different ways that you can see me. You'll see that the primary course textbook is Tyler Cowan and Alex Tabarrok's Modern Principles, the 4th edition. You don't have to necessarily buy a physical copy of this. When you go through and look at the Macmillan catalog, what you should do before you do that is to look at the Sapling thing. When you buy Sapling, it comes with an e-book version of the textbook with it. Sapling is not a substitute for the textbook. The videos that I'm going to provide are not a perfect substitute for the textbook. They are complements to the textbook. Students who actually take the time to read the textbook always do better in the class. And reading a textbook is a skill that you're going to want to continue to develop, because as you go into your professional life, you may have to learn something on your own. And doing that through a textbook is actually a very efficient way of learning something. It can even be easier than using YouTube. The next thing is supplemental course textbooks. There are two. One is by Arnold Kling called The Three Languages of Politics. This is a very short book and it's a free download. There's a link there. There's more about this book on a separate Canvas page. This book by Hans Rosling and his son and daughter-in-law called Factfulness. And I'll tell you what, I've gotten just tremendously good feedback from students about this Factfulness book. It really is an amazing way to look at the world and to consider how the world has changed over the most recent history and over the long term of history. So that's a very important book. The last major project for the semester is related to that book and is worth 10% of your total grade. You can share books. If you want to, share a copy of the Factfulness book with somebody, that's great. If you want to buy a physical copy of the textbook and share that with somebody, I'm fine with that. You can't share Sapling codes. Sapling codes are the online homework, and each of you has a unique code to get onto that, and you have to pay for the subscription for that. You'll have to get that for yourself. There's a description of the course here. There's some course objectives here. I recommend that you read over these, take the time to see what these goals are. And as you go through the semester, these objectives ought to be the thing that we're testing our success in the course relative to. Page 2, the means of assessment. So there are going to be two exams, a midterm and a final. Exams will be 350 out of the total 1,000 points for the course. So you can think about that a 900 would be like a 90%. And so then 35% of your total score for the course is based on the exams. The second thing on here are the Sapling Learning Online Problem Sets and Homework. This is 300 total points. So again, the online homework would be 30% of your total grade. And if you go through and read what all these different assignments are, and add it up, you will find that all of these points will add up to more than 300 points. I think it actually, if you take all the assignments all together, they add up to around 350 points. But the maximum score that I'm going to give you on Sapling is 300 points. However many points you score on Sapling, I will, up to 300, I will attribute to your final score for the course. So if you get behind on some of your assignments, you can make it up. So let's look through the different kinds of assignments there are on Sapling. The first and largest impact on your overall grade are the homework assignments. The homework assignments, you only get, I think it's 2 tries on the homework assignments. And each question, I think it is like you only get 1 or 2 tries per question. It might be more than that. We'll see. But this is a large part of the overall grade. There are 172 points there, 8 points per assignment. So there's, I think, 23 assignments. This includes 2 assignments at the very beginning of the semester called Using the Tools of Sapling and Math Review. Those 2 should be super easy for you, sort of like freebie points to get the semester off on a really good footing. So make sure to do those. Now the homework assignments will have due dates, so you're going to want to keep up with those. All of these will have due dates. In a little while, I'll open up the actual Sapling website and show you how it works and to capture all of these points. The second major kind of assignment that you're going to have on here are the Marginal Revolution University video activities. There are 98 videos that are related to the textbook. These are videos that I did not produce, but that have been produced by the textbook publisher. and the authors of the textbook. These videos are going to substitute for a lot of the lectures that I would normally be giving in class. If something is covered on these Marginal Revolution University videos, chances are I'm not going to spend as much time talking about it in the video lectures that I produce for this course. For each video, there is a quiz at the end of it, and you have to complete the quiz to get any credit for the video. Each quiz is worth 1 total point, so 0.1% of your total grade. The next kind of assignment is called Ask Fred. The Ask Fred assignments are each worth 4 points. These assignments get you to go out to the Fred website, the Federal Reserve Board of St. Louis's website, and to actually work with data related to the real world today. The next is a Working It Out assignment. These are extra practice on some of the more difficult concepts in the course. So some of the concepts I thought, it'd be really great if the students had another opportunity to practice this concept, because I think it's really hard and they're going to need more feedback on this concept. So that's what that's for. And finally, there are these learning curve activities. These are all counted as extra credit. These are to help you make up points for missing any of the other assignments. You don't have to do the learning curve activities, but for every learning curve activity you do complete, you get 3 points. The fun thing about the learning curves is that you can always get full credit. There are some other assignments on Sapling that I'm leaving open, in particular the end of chapter problems. These problems are exactly the questions from the end of the chapter of the textbook. And if you're concerned that you don't understand a concept, you can go do one of these end of chapter problems and check your answer on it, and you'll get more feedback on whether you're understanding the idea. If you're struggling with a concept and we have to schedule office hours, oftentimes I'll use these end of chapter problems as a way for us to work through a concept together to make sure you understand it. The next kind of assignments we have for the class are these in-class graph quizzes. You're going to be in class 1 day a week, and I'll ask that you bring a piece of paper every week that you're in class, and I will give a short in-class quiz. You'll draw graphs to answer these questions on the paper that you bring to class, and then you'll take a picture of that drawing, and then you'll post that picture to Canvas, and then I will grade your quizzes. That way we don't have papers being passed around and spreading germs, but at the same time you get practice drawing graphs. It's essential that you have the opportunity to draw graphs in an economics class. Graphs are sort of the language of economics. Then the next kind of assignment is called the Canvas Content Quiz. There's one of these for every week. Each of them is worth 5 points. This is on material that I post to Canvas, including what I put in my own video lectures, that is not related to the textbook and isn't on Sapling. So this is just to hold you accountable for paying attention to my videos and the other readings that I assign to the class. And it'll be just a short quiz each week. The next set of assignments that we're going to look at are larger standalone assignments. So the first of these is called the Political Language Turing Test. This test is worth 5% of your total grade, and it is related to the first book that we read in the class, aside from the textbook, this book by Arnold Kling called The Three Languages of Politics. And I'll talk more about what this activity is later on. This is actually a video that you're going to record. The video will demonstrate your mastery over the material from Kling's book and what I present on my videos and in class. The second major project assignment is Map GDP. This is going to require that you actually download data from websites and do some analysis using Excel and create some graphs and then write up a report. I think this is helpful because this has you doing the kind of thing that you'd actually be expected to do in the workplace. And you'll be able to take this assignment, this completed assignment, and you could show it to a potential employer and say, I have experience looking up data online. I have experience creating or analyzing data using Excel, creating graphs, and writing a report. Next, there are 3 short projects, each worth 10 points, and I'll tell you more about each of those short assignments later. Each of these are going to be short writing and analysis assignments, each of them about a 1-page assignment, 500 words maximum. And each of those is worth 1% of your total grade. Then there's a big project near the end of the semester called the Factfulness Workbook. I will send out this workbook for you to complete and fill in answers to. So that's the last major portion of your overall grade. Whenever you turn in an assignment online, I want you to use the format that I am showing you here. When you save a Word document, the Word document should say ECON202F20 _ then the assignment title. For example, if it's the Factfulness Workbook, it should be ECON202 Fall 20 Factfulness Workbook, your last name, your first initial. And actually, in front of assignment title, I'm actually going to have you put your section number. That way I can keep each of you separated and find your assignment quickly if there's ever any question to talk about it. Here is a summary of the assignments and the point values assigned to each of those different kinds of assignments. And there may be some opportunities for extra credit as the semester goes on. This is a lot of different stuff. This is a lot of stuff to manage and to keep track of. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you to follow along and make sure that you're keeping up with all the assignments by the way that I craft this course on Canvas. So here we have our grading scale. So in order to get an A, you have to score a 93% or above. The A- would be a 90% above. Notice that a B plus is an 87 to an 89.9%. If you get an 89.8%, am I going to round up to an A minus? No. All right. A B plus includes an 89.9%. You only get an A minus if you score a 90 or above. I hope that's clear there. On the next page, we have a course structure. A reference guide for, well, what week is it? What should I be focused on? What should I be doing this week? What are we going to be talking about in class? What readings do I have? What homework assignments do I have? Am I all caught up? And so you should be able to look at that. On the next page, we start to have just some boilerplate stuff that explains other course issues. For example, there's a specific email format. I think it's a really good idea that whenever you send a professor an email, that you include in the subject line what course you're in and what section number you're in. That way, whatever issues you bring up in your email, the professor is able to find that material very quickly and responds to you very quickly. So also, include in the subject line also a short description of what the email is about. That way it's easy for me to find your email among all the many, many emails that I get every week. And I'm going to try to also do this. So in the subject header of any email that I send to you, I will include, the course number and a short note about what the email is about. If I don't do that, hold me accountable. All right. I make mistakes, and I expect that you will too, and that's okay. But in general, this is a really good way to maintain professional communication. I have a peculiar late work policy. So if you turn in an assignment 1 day late, I'm going to take 10 points off. But if you turn in the assignment 2 days late, I'm going to take 25 points off, which is to say that the marginal penalty for missing an additional day is 15 points for an assignment being 2 days late instead of 1. And then the marginal penalty for being 3 days late, right? That third day, the marginal penalty is an additional 20 points. And the marginal penalty for the fourth day is an additional 25 points. So there's an increasing marginal penalty to turning in late work. Don't do it. Then there's some policies about missed exams. Can't make up missed exams unless you're sick. Then there's a mobile device policy. There's policies about how to behave amongst one another in class, policies about accommodations, policies about plagiarism and academic honesty. And then at page 7 here, we have sort of my course philosophy. These are sort of my philosophical points of view that relate to how I think about economics. And you'll hear me quote several of these over the course of this semester, because all of these are things that I hold very dear and have incorporated into my way of thinking about economics. Take the time to read over these quotes. At the end, there's a set of keys to success in economics. This was written by a former colleague of mine, Tom Lehman, who teaches at Indiana Wesleyan University. He put this together. I think it's really great set of ideas about how to study and why to study economics. So take the time to read that. And then on the very last page, there's a little bit more information about how to sign up for Sapling. So that's the syllabus. I know that there is a lot of work here. So if you refer back to the page 4, that is a lot of stuff, and it's going to be a little bit much to juggle. Again, I'm going to do my best to keep things very well organized on Canvas so that you can keep track of what you're supposed to be doing and when. The only thing that isn't really showing up on this course structure are the in-class quizzes that we're going to do, then the weekly quizzes on material that is not from the textbook. And that's going to be sort of the stuff that's in that column, supplemental reading thing, that and things that I talk about in my videos. Also, you don't see any of the Marginal Revolution University videos listed in the homework due column. All right, so you got to pay attention to that those videos are going to be on sapling only. And then also my videos aren't listed on this document here either. So, but those will all be on Canvas and you should be able to find them without too much trouble. If you have questions about the syllabus, let me know. And actually, if there's anything about the syllabus that you want to amend, that you think we should change to improve the syllabus, post that. So actually, I've opened a Canvas discussion board, and I want you to either say, I agree with the syllabus, or I want to amend the syllabus. And I'm asking that each person, every one of you, go on to the discussion board. And I'll give you 5 points towards the course when you do this to either say, I agree with the syllabus, or I want to amend the syllabus. And the reason for doing that is the syllabus is sort of like the constitution for the class, or the law of the class. And I want us to all have clear communication and be broadly in agreement about the requirements and the way that this course is going to work.